A petrochemical plant in Jilin Province, China, that was state-owned, had an explosion on November 13, 2005, when there was a nitration unit malfunction. The explosion itself caused there to be severe damage to the facility and its workers. The damage done by the immediate explosion caused there to be 75 workers injured and 6 killed. 10,000 people eventually evacuated because of the fear of more explosions and the damage that it was caused. There were carcinogenic chemicals present in this plant at the time because it was responsible for producing plastic and detergent-making chemicals. There were such things as carcinogenic benzene and nitrobenzene present. 100 tons of these chemicals and others ended up in the Shenghua River, but also elsewhere because this river was connected to various bodies of water. The Shenghua River flows into the Heilong River, which in turn will go into Russian territory and flow into the Amur River. After 2 weeks of keeping this information present from the Chinese citizens and any international confidants or countries, China finally came to the United Nations and confessed their problem. It is thought that the Chinese government came to this conclusion because they could not hide this information from their people anymore, as they had denied the spill and explosion before this. The China State Environmental Protection Agency, SEPA, tried to clean up the spill for 5 days before they issued emergency protocol by trying to dilute the chemical mess by using water reservoir supplies. They may also have come to the United Nations because they didn't want to have any confrontations with Russia, as the chemical slick was heading toward Russian territory. There was no real public confirmation of the chemical spill until it reached Harbin, China's 10th largest city, but there had been rumor about a public emergency beforehand. Luckily, the municipal water supplies were shut down many days before the spill reached Harbin because of a repair that was needed to be done to the system's facilities. Many people believe that this was a cover-up for turning off the town's water supply to lower the risk of chemical consequences without admitting there was anything wrong. Although there was no warning issue about the water until it reached Harbin, meaning that any towns or villages along the Shenghua River would have been affected with this contaminated water that had 100 times more than what is safe of benzene present in it. Since the water supplies had been turned off, 3 million people in Harbin had no running water, drinking water, running toilets, and the water continued to be off for 4 days. Many people had left their homes to flee to a cleaner and safer place. About 2 weeks after the petrochemical plant explosion, there was yet another explosion in the Ying chemical plant near Chongqing that released a yellowish cloud that caused there to be more fear of benzene contamination. After this, there was a mass evacuation of the 10,000 people mentioned before. If this type of accident were to happen in North America, there would primarily be quicker response times and a true effort to clean and get control of the incident as quickly as possible. As in the Gulf of Mexico oil spill incident, within days of the situation being assessed and a plan was coming into place. The environmental damage that was caused by the chemical spill has threatened life in the Heilong Amur ecoregion. This is a highly prioritized area where there are great amounts of wildlife such as tigers, leopards, and bears, and many others, and holds a distinctive temperate forest. The actual specifics of the environmental damage done are not widely available. One could conclude that this could be another attempt by the Chinese government to keep the damage from the situation under wraps. From 2005 to 2011, there was pollution present in the Shenghua River, and it is still affecting the water quality at this point. There have been efforts by PetroChina and the Chinese government to rid the river of its toxic pollution. There has been 13.4 billion yuan spent of taxpayers' money on this issue with no real result to be shown. When a statement was released by the government showing the amount of money spent to clean up, there was a lot of anger from the public, and there was a thought that the government should be responsible for the cleanup costs as they were responsible for the mess. Possible cleanup solutions could be to pump the chemicals out of the water or to use microbes that could break down the chemicals in a safe and harmless way. In conclusion, the explosion of the petrochemical plant in Jilin Province has caused there to be a significant harm to the people of Harbin and surrounding villages and towns, and even to this day because of the lack of environmental laws, regulations, and response times.